All right, I guess we're live. How we all doing? Can you all hear me? I don't know. Seems like it's really low. Seems like the volume's low. Just kind of playing around with settings. Oh, let's see. I know there's no intro music. There's no nothing. We don't have any of that anymore. Let's see. Go ahead and send this out to the Discord. See if anybody's on there. Okay. Hope everybody's having a good Christmas season so far. Mine's fine, I guess. Getting over a cold. I don't know how my voice will sound. Yesterday I was getting sick. And then today I was supposed to work, man. I fucking called off. I don't like calling off. Like, I've only been there about 7 months. I don't like calling off like that, but I was a wreck, man. I just got up maybe an hour ago, maybe two. Spent most of the day in bed. I don't usually get to sleep till about 6-ish because of just what my schedule is now. When I do work, it's till at least 3. And the neighbor had a fucking yard service blowing leaves at like 7 in the morning. I know I'm a night guy, but that seems excessively fucking early, even for day walkers, to have a fucking leaf blower going. It's so fucking loud. It didn't feel good either. Oh god. So I'd been asleep for maybe an hour. That woke me up. And it also pissed me off, which made it harder to get back to sleep. So then it's probably like 9 or 10 when I finally fall back asleep. When it's time to get up for work, I was like, no. My fucking throat was sore. I had a head full of snot. My head was pounding. But whatever. I figured, hey, I'm wide awake now. Might as well stream. It says Jesus did not like leaf blowers. I don't blame them. They were up there with tax collectors, I think. Fucking 7 in the morning. It was so loud. I thought it was a chainsaw or something. I thought somebody was taking a tree down next door or something. I'm sitting there like, I hope it falls on you. That would have pissed me off even when I was working day shift. I remember I had a really nice day shift job for like 5 years, but I didn't get up till like 8 for that because it was a 9 to 5er. And it would have really pissed me, maybe even more, had pissed me off if somebody had woken me up at 7 with that nonsense. Well, I think some people are starting to come into the chat here. MAGA Civil War is the biggest drama ever with Trump as the star. I got to be honest with you, like, if you'd asked me like 3 months ago, I'd have been like, anybody going after Erica Trump is a piece of shit. Fuck that. Or not Erica Trump, Erica Kirk. But it's like, my goodwill towards her is fucking gone. And I ain't a Candace Owens fan by any stretch because she's a fucking lunatic and a bitch. But like, you're allowed to question shit. I'm really suspicious of anybody that's like, no, you're not allowed to question shit. Well, if you throw out all these other theories as to what happened to Charlie Kirk, then maybe the shooter's defense attorneys can use it. And it's like, okay. Well, I mean, we have a fucking justice system in this country. He's entitled to a defense. If there are credible theories as to what else might have happened, I would say that, his defense attorney has a right to present that to the jury. When did that not become a thing we all agreed upon? The simple reality is Charlie Kirk had been a good goy, typical evangelical, typical right-wing cuck most of his fucking life. His short life, but most of his adult life, however short it had been. And in the last year or so, if you want to be cynical, you could say it's because it was becoming safe to do, or safer to do, or maybe he was having a genuine epiphany. I don't know. I'll leave that kind of judgment up to God. But the point is, in the last less than a year before his death, really, he began to question the Israel shit. And then he gets his ass shot. Now, there are some people who think that the Mossad was directly behind that. I don't know. Like, I don't really have a story. I don't know. They certainly could have been. I certainly don't tell me they wouldn't do that. But I don't know. But then, like, okay, so let's see if I can figure out how to do this on here. Image file. Okay. Do I have that file? I think it's saved in here. Okay, so here's Erica Trump with the Fox and Friends ghouls. And they're promoting Charlie Kirk's book. I guess he wrote before he died. I guess. And then she's got the big old Israel pin on her. You know, like, I'm just so tired of it, you know? And I know there's other issues. I'm not talking about Israel 24 fucking 7. I know, you know, we need to get the fucking people in this country out that don't belong here. You know, Indians are a fucking huge problem. But how is anybody okay with this? Chat says, hello, Bedgeloff in chat. Merry Xmas. And any idea of John Steele returning to Strain? Best duo with Bedgeloff. I just talked to him on the phone for a while last night. He's doing good. I like having him on stream. Sometimes he wants to hop on and derail what I'm trying to talk about. So, like, sometimes I can't always have him on, but I do enjoy having him on generally. Hit like and subscribe. We got Unintelligent Design. You can hop in if you want to, by the way, Liam. In fact, YouTube is reminding me to ban people and delete comments. So who wants to be banned? We don't do that in here. I mean, there are instances where we might do that, but generally we try to avoid doing that in this chat. It's a small enough chat that, you know. Did he call you? I called him. He texted me. He said he wanted to talk about something. Personal shit. I don't want to get into it on stream. Read anything new? I've been reading some comics. Trying to get more writing done. But I have been reading comics, obviously, because I read comics every fucking week. Because I love me some comic books. I don't think I've read an actual novel or book in a little while. Not one that's stuck in my head, at least. Not one off the top of my head is occurring to me. All right. Let me... I'm going to go ahead and send invites out. All right, so we're gonna invite people to hop on. In fact, right in the Discord. If anyone wants to hop in, boom. I put the invite right in the Discord. And hell, here Undertow's on. I'll send him an invite if he wants to come on. And Artistic Lemon can hop in too if he's available. The title of this stream came from Erica Trump had a fucking it was in an interview, and she's talking about how like Charlie Kirk would come home Friday night and he would turn his cell phone off and he would say, "It's the Sabbath Shalom, Sabbat Shalom." Now, I do know from what I have listened to Charlie Kirk, he was insanely legalistic about the Sabbath. I didn't know he did it on Friday or Saturday like a Jew. I didn't think that was what he did. That seems weird. But he was super legalistic about the Sabbath, which I always say don't trust a Christian that's super legalistic about the Sabbath. Christ himself literally said in the Gospels, don't be autistic and legalistic about the Sabbath. But he apparently was, and he made a big deal out of it, like, oh, yeah, this is how much of a family guy I am, and everyone should do this. And it's like, not everyone can, Charlie. I mean, again, I feel bad speaking about the ill of the dead, but the man never worked a day in his fucking life. That's just fact. I mean, he's never had a real job. He never worked at the box factory. He never did a working man's job. Okay. You know, it was a luxury that he could do that with his family, and it's good that he did when he had that ability. But chat says it's definitely been one chaotic week. Right-wing boomers doubling down on Israel worship, and Nick Fuentes having 2-hour slap fest with Piers Morgan. Okay, so Liam's in the chat. I'm gonna bring, or in the waiting room. I'm gonna bring him out on stage. How's it going, Liam? Hope you're doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Nothing to really, I guess the biggest drama is that, yesterday I spent 5 hours drawing, which I think you're there for a bit of it. I can't even remember.
Yeah, I hopped in on stream for a bit.
Yeah, now I'm being told that I wasn't drawing for 5 hours. That wasn't real, apparently.
He was gooning. He was gooning.
Yeah, that's right. I made up all of my ink. I just made it all up. It was all pretend. I did it with AI. I did it with robots. Robots came in
for 5 hours straight.
Yeah, just 5 hours. I'm just like, God, for crying out loud.
What chat was saying there about the Nick Fuentes thing? Here's
what's going on?
I'm very anti-Israel. I want them removed, their influence removed from my government. I'm tired of defending them. I'm tired of hearing about them. I'm tired of this being the central issue of the fucking world. I'm done with it. Okay, the whole region could go right to hell for as far as I'm concerned. But Nick Fuentes is a sociopathic, evil little queer. All right, that's just a fact. That's been, we established this years ago. We all know this. And what really floors me is all these people, these leftists, these neocons that supposedly want to destroy him. You could do it instantly because it's all out there. Nick Fuentes dating women is gay. Having sex with women is gay. And I like boy butts and I like pumping dumpers. And here I am on a date with Catboy Cammy. You could embarrass him with that shit. And if you really want to go for the jugular, you can dig into all the Ali Alexander shit that he had going on in his organization, where this piranha-faced fucking Jeet was in his organization grooming teenage boys with Nick's obviously full knowledge of it. So Piers Morgan could have destroyed Nick Fuentes instantly. Ben Shapiro could destroy Nick Fuentes instantly. Like, that shit's all out there. Even if those people don't know it, surely someone on their staff has run across this shit. So, like, to me, that just very obviously says that Nick Fuentes is a plant. If he's not a Fed, he's being propped up by some sort of entity, some sort of money. I would argue to try and embarrass anti-Zionist because Nick Fuentes is radioactive and embarrassing. That's my theory, because Nick Fuentes' vulnerability is so obvious. It's like a Zelda boss. It's like a very badly designed Zelda boss. It's like a Skyward Sword Zelda boss where it's like, gee, should I take the bow and arrow that I just got in this dungeon and shoot the villain in the very big, obvious, vulnerable eyeball after the dungeon has been telling me to shoot monsters in the eyeball this whole fucking time? Like, it's so obvious. It's so fucking there. And nobody touches it. Nobody says a word. I understand the Kino Casino is a very small-time show in the grand scheme of things, but it's not like they were the first to discover this either. It's out there. It's known. And nobody touches it. To me, that, like, if you're Ben Shapiro, if I'm Ben Shapiro and I wake up tomorrow and I spend my morning, I guess, putting my sins in a chicken or whatever he does, after a long night of fucking my wife through a hole in my Boll and Branch sheets, I'm going to immediately find this information. Someone on my staff will bring it to me and I'll be like, Nick is done. We're done with Nick. No one's talking about Nick anymore. I'm going to bury him. And he doesn't do that. None of them do that ever. I think that's pretty telling. I think that shows that Nick is... I wouldn't be surprised if he gets money directly from the fucking Mossad, because all he does is embarrass the anti-Zionist movement because he's an embarrassing, gross little queer. Let's see. Chat says all the new batch of grifters are acting like it's crazy and awesome that Fagtaz is on their show. Total psyop. Yeah, like just 3-4 years ago, Nick Fuentes' name was in the gutter. No one wanted to touch him. He was radioactive. Everyone knew he was, the only allies he could find were like, Ethan Ralph. Like, nobody wanted anything to do with him. And now all of a sudden he's the face of not wanting your government to be controlled by Israel. It's insane. Like, you can't tell me that is not artificial. You can't tell me he's not propped up. Again, especially when his vulnerability is right there. If he supposedly has all these mortal enemies that want to silence him, want to shut him up, want to bury him, it's easy to do. Like, if I was on Ben Shapiro's staff, which I wouldn't want to do because I have a soul, but if I was, I'd be like, hey, Ben, here's some clips. Just air these. You don't even need commentary. Just air these. They speak for themselves. Just make your whole show just about what a gross little queer Nick is. And then make the next show about Ollie Alexander. Hey, Dan, what's going on? Chat says, unfortunately, Pierce Morgan failed big time to try and take down Fuentes. He thought calling Nick a racist and sexist for 2 hours straight would be effective, but blew up in his boomer face. I mean, again, is it because Pierce Morgan is retarded and incompetent, or is it because Pierce Morgan knew exactly what he was supposed to be doing there? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Could go either way.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. So, I don't get the Nick thing. So
it has to be controlled op. It has to be.
Well, he himself isn't controlled op. He's just an edgy Zoomer, or what he thinks is edgy. Like, they're just promoting him. So a lot of times they just have to promote the viewpoints they want people seeing. They don't actually have to support them directly. Again,
supposedly he has all these mortal enemies, and none of them shoot him in his very obvious vulnerability. Like,
I don't know. I think they want to just make the right look, dumb and all the things they say it are, because like Nick's disgusting and everyone knows it.
Yeah, everyone with a functional amygdala is repulsed by Nick on a deep visceral level. And that's why I think he's propped up. That's why I think he's put on fucking parade right now.
Yeah, well, all they have to do to a lot of these content creators is just be like, hey, talk to Nick. He's an up-and-coming star. And then people are like, oh, yeah, I should do that because they want to get in on the clout bandwagon. So,
Am I frozen for you guys?
Visually, but we can hear you.
we can hear you. But you are visually frozen as an unhappy Santa.
With disdain, yeah. Just disdainful Santa. That's interesting.
You're moving again.
Yep, there you go.
Okay. Oh, good.
He was just gooning too hard. I had to explain to Liam what gooning meant on a stream yesterday.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know, you know?
God, you're so old.
No, I know.
You're not down with the cool kids who goon for 4 hours at a time.
You grew up in an age when a goon was a hired henchman.
Yeah, that's right. It meant thug. So when people were like, "Oh, I'm gooning," I was like, "Is this some weird, like, you know, like machismo brawling, like I'm a thug stuff thing?"
It's the new side hustle in the gig economy.
So, some guys show up to work for the Joker, and they're like, "So when do we start watching porn?" And the Joker's just confused. Like, what? We're trying to kill Batman. What are you talking about, porn?
You know, I would love to make it. I might do it. I might do it today, actually. If I might do just like a 3 or 4 page little panel just for the joke, where it's like, you know, like Joker's recruiting goons, and then a bunch of these like, you know, degenerate, like loser, scrawny little guys show up, you know, and then it's Batman and Robin just beating the shit out of these sexual degenerates while Joker just stands there going, "It's not what it used to be. Goons aren't what they used to be."
There was like a 2D retro FPS that came out, and they really played into the whole gooning thing for marketing. I'm trying to remember what that is. Something Aces?
Matt Brick says he ordered me the entire Isom catalog for Christmas on its way. Well, that's good because with the cold months, I need some stuff to burn to stay warm. Isom sucks so bad. Signed by Eric July. Awesome.
So it turns out
it just says she.
Issue 2, the first run of it had a misprint, and they knew about it, and they sent it out anyway.
Yeah, there was a big double page splash they put on 2 different pages because that's top quality.
That just shows me the level of not giving a fuck. Like, it's not even like, oh, I think it's great. It's just like, oh, it's shit. Ship it anyway.
Nobody. I will argue with like Isom fans, quote unquote, on Twitter sometimes, and I've never once heard even one of them talk about like what they actually like about Isom. It's all like how cool Eric July is and how much money he made and all this other shit. And it's like, look, I like Cyberfrog. I've read some of those comics. I liked them. I'm not a big Comicsgate supporter. I never have been, but I like Cyberfrog. I don't care how much money Ethan Van Sciver makes. Okay. I'm not in a parasocial relationship with Ethan Van Sciver. Sometimes he's a dick, if I'm being honest with you. So like, you know, the comic is good. Sometimes his streams are funny. That's the extent of it with me. I'm not out here like my internet daddy made more money than your internet daddy. Like, that's not, what are we talking about? None of these people can tell you the first fucking thing about Isom. In all fairness, though, I read the first volume and I can't tell you anything about it because it immediately left my brain. I didn't buy it, by the way. Somebody shared it in a Discord I was in, and I just read it. Like, I was like, okay, fine, I'll give it a shot. And I'm glad I didn't buy it.
He admitted that his first issue was the first draft. You never run your first draft because there's always shit you don't like. Even if you are a good writer, there's shit you miss. You have to run it past somebody else.
Chat says, do people still pretend to like it? I mean, not as many people, but there's still some guys that are going to die on the Isom hill.
I had a dream a new issue came out and everyone was talking about it, and it swiftly became a nightmare. It's like, I would like there to be good competition out there. I don't understand why nobody can do that.
Look, man, for all his faults and for all the lateness, and I mean, he can be a dick, but Cyberfrog is good. Cyberfrog is good. I read the '90s collection, and it's very Spawn meets TMNT meets Spider-Man. It's a lot of fun. Some of the modern stuff I've read, I'd like to wait for just a collection because a lot of these comics are way too fucking overpriced. Because that's the other problem with this. They talk about like oh, well, is the comic book store model really sustainable? And it's like their sustainable model is this crowdfunding model where people pay $25 for a single issue that comes out in 2 years. And I'm like, I don't think that lasts either.
Not outside.
I feel like that fizzles out a lot before the last comic book store closes. I'll say that. Like that's my bold prediction.
That works more for a niche audience, not a broad audience.
No, see, that works if you get people who are invested in you, your YouTube channel, your cause, all this other stuff. But somebody who just like, hey, that's kind of neat, I'd like to give it a shot, is not going to drop $25 on a single issue that comes out in 2 years.
It only works do that if like your audience it's like a hyper. People are interested in a very specific subject, and you're the only supplier, or they're interested in just you. But you can't do that to a broad audience.
I mean, I'm a good example. Like when I first saw it, I was like, Cyberfrog looked interesting like years ago, like good guy, like 6-7 years ago, something like that. And I look it up and it's like, oh, you got to crowdfund it. It's way too pricey. And I was like, nah. And then years later, I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. And he had put out a 90s collection of all the stuff he did back then. And I didn't back it or anything, but it was on eBay and it was like, it was something under $25, which for a big collection that size was a reasonable price. I was like, all right, I'll get it. And I loved it. As soon as I was able to actually just buy it at a normal freaking price, I was willing to do it. I'll give credit where it's due. Isom has done a good job of getting this shit out there in the idea that you can just buy it. I've seen it actually in the wild at some comic book stores. He's tricked a few brick and mortar stores into being dumb enough to order a copy or two. That's more than a lot of the other crowdfunders have done. But his stuff is also shit from a butt. So, like, no matter how well you get the distribution down, eventually people realize, oh, this is shit from a butt, and they stop reading it.
So, Isom can fly, right?
Oh, God.
Or he's supposed to be able to?
I feel like he can. But he also, most of the time, it looks like he's doing like the Hulk jumps. Like Silver Age Hulk used to just jump like.
Yeah,
so like original Batman, he doesn't really.
Are you guys joking around, or do you not know? Like,
I don't know. Does Isom fly?
So,
I forget.
Okay, so Yellow Flash. This is like Yellow Flash was going on and on and on about how great.
It seems like he just jumps places.
Yeah, he just jumps. But like Yellow Flash was like, oh yeah, he can fly. It was something about how great it was and all of this. I was like, dude, he expressly says in the book he can't fly. I understand you guys not like no, because you don't remember, but like Flash had, just read it and was saying how great it was. Like, he can't fly. He can just Hulk jump. Hulk jump.
So him driving a truck across the country makes more sense now, because I heard he could fly, but then he's driving for like one comic, and that wouldn't make sense if he could fly. It'd be way faster just to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if he can fly, but it's just like normal walking or running speeds?
Well, he can he can just go in a straight line. It's still faster.
I always thought that would be like interesting it's like, yeah, I can fly, but I can fly like 35 miles an hour tops.
Yeah.
And I can't do it for that long because I get tired.
Yeah, because I get tired. Yeah.
Yeah, if he got tired, then speeding in a truck makes more sense.
I heard that joke one time where it's like, if Wonder Woman could fly, why does she have a jet? And somebody goes, well, if you could walk, why do you have a car?
If it takes like a noticeable amount of energy and it's not like a Superman situation, like having to transport makes more sense. Because if otherwise you just get there and you're dog tired before the fight starts.
Chet says white man can't jump. Yeah, Isom superpower is literally a vertical leap. I hadn't thought of that. Isom really does feel to be like just like Luke Cage if it was written by a retard.
Well, I actually like Luke Cage though.
Yeah, people actually like Luke Cage because competent writers have fleshed him out.
You know, Luke Cage is likable. I mean, he's a low-level superhero, but he's likable.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I read the first volume, and nothing about it stuck to me. But it just the funniest Isom critique I ever saw. Dick Masterson had like an elementary school teacher like read Isom, and she had no idea what any of like the conflict was, but she was just acting as if like a student had handed her this, right? And she's like, well, in just the basics of storytelling, like, who is Isom? What does he want? What are his abilities? What is what is supposed to be happening in this comic? She's just in that like polite, passive aggressive elementary school teacher way. She's just ripping this apart. Like, I don't understand what he wants or what his motivations are.
What are his goals, his motivations?
Yeah, what are his goals? What are his reasons for being? What is any of this?
Which is the job of like your first issue. That's what you're selling. It's the introduction to the character.
And you also got to remember, when I say first issue, he put out a trade paperback. It's his first issue wasn't like a single issue floppy. It was a solid first story arc.
Yeah.
Or first act at least of a story arc. If that alone isn't enough to hook you, it's one thing if you read a single issue and you're like, well, I still don't know a lot of what's going on here. I mean, you really should at the end of a first issue, but still, this man had like about 5 or 6 issues worth of space to explain to you what Isom was, and you still walk away from it like, what is any of this? Isom don't like them hoe-ass roads. I love that joke because Eric July pretends to be a libertarian, even though he doesn't know shit about fuck. Like, he really can't explain any of it to you. But I think he heard the word libertarian once and he thought it sounded cool.
To be fair, though, with a lot of libertarians, he's not that far behind.
Yeah, in all fairness, he's not further behind than most of the Libertarian Party. But there's a cover. I think Ethan might have drawn it or something. But like, it's an early cover to Isom where he's like punching the road and just breaking the road apart. And it's like he's so libertarian. He's like, fuck these roads.
I mean, what has a road ever done for you?
Fuck these hoe-ass roads. That's right, chat. Isom in a never-ending battle to own the libs. Oh, man. Isom is such shit. It's so bad. Like, I read Common America, and I was like, this is okay. It's too girly and weeb for my taste, but I could see why someone would like it. You know what I mean? It's like, it does genuinely feel like there's talent and heart and thought behind Common America, even if it's not for me. There's none of that with Isom. Like, there's just none of it. Like,
okay, I haven't heard about it. What's it about?
Common America is like this female superhero, but everything is like super weeb. It's kind of like an American superhero comic, but it is in color, and it's, you know, it's not backwards like a Japanese comic, but it's very weeb in a lot of its inspirations. It reminds me a lot of Adam Warren's Empowered, but just not as good. Like, it really feels like it's trying to have that vibe, but it's just not as fun as Empowered, and it doesn't have the same level of horny that Empowered had. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I could see why people would like Common America, but
Well, if it's got Japanese influence and you're saying that, it's basically a compliment.
well, I mean, Adam Warren's Empowered. I mean, Adam Warren is he did the Americanized version of Dirty Pair. I mean, his book is very manga inspired, but I still loved it when I read it back in the day. It's still one of my favorite indie comics. Common America, I just felt like it felt like this the poor man's Empowered. It felt like it was trying to go for those same vibes, but just not as good.
Uh-oh. Graham's got the easel out.
He's gooning again.
Yep, he's gooning with his pen.
So let's say I draw you like a big like poster just for you, Chris, of the Mirage Turtles that I
Okay.
send you, custom original art, A3. Are you gonna accuse me of? Are you gonna accuse me of sitting here and doing it with robot powers, or are you gonna appreciate it?
I mean, I'm probably not going to do that now.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt Brick says, guys, it's called hops. That's right. That's his power. That's Isom's power. He hops.
Originally, Superman just jumped really far distances, which is funny to me.
Yeah. Early Superman didn't fly.
Because
He's just really good at jumping.
all of Superman's powers are rooted in actual science and physics. Did you know that? Like he's physics men.
Well, that's why the old slogan, like and I mean, they kept this around even after he could fly, but like able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's like, you know, once you're able to fly, it's like, well, yeah, I guess. Why wouldn't you be able to do it? Yeah. I don't think Wonder Woman could fly either for the longest time, like up until like the fucking 70s or 80s or something.
Yeah, I don't get why she can fly. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because magic.
Right.
She's just magic.
Magic just solves all things.
She is magic.
Yeah, the only magic I want to deal with is the rope.
Early Wonder Woman is so BDSM too. Oh, it's so much of that in there.
It's very thinly veiled fetish material.
Well, the guy that made Wonder Woman had like 2 wives, and he was like into femdom shit. He like actually had like a full-on philosophy of like women should rule the world and shit.
Right.
Like he was hardcore about that. So like early Wonder Woman to him was just nothing but like propaganda of that. So it was just femdom comics.
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't know any better, it's a lot more innocent. But if you know, you know.
Oh yeah, and I know.
So you were a big fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I finally read some of the Golden Age Wonder Woman, I'm like, best Golden Age comics ever.
I've got like a big hardback book of early Batman comics somewhere around here. I need to actually finish that. I hope it's got the comic where he goes back in time and defeats Native Americans that are just trying to defend their territory.
There's so much like horny posting and fetish posting in American comics that like even in the quote unquote like wholesome stuff, like Archie comics are notorious for this. From like the 40s to at least the 90s, Archie comics have so much, and again, thinly veiled, so the kids don't necessarily know what they're talking about, but it's there.
Well, like a lot of animation and stuff pre-internet, you could get away with a lot of the niche stuff because people didn't know unless they knew, and nobody would raise a stink of it. But in this post-internet age, everybody raises a stink about it now. Like, think about how much content you watch where people go back in old shows.
Wait, has gooning always been a thing? Was goons always a metaphor?
No. You see, nobody started masturbating until the internet came about.
Oh, okay.
Well, no,
I didn't know about a lot of this dom culture and stuff until I found out about it.
Gooning used to be sort of edgy.
Okay, yeah.
And he didn't know about femdom stuff till I came around and showed it.
Yeah. So like,
no, you showed him the gospel.
Yeah, I showed him the gospel.
I'm good.
Now it's getting really bossy.
No, I'm still just boring old Liam. I like to lay down on top of ladies, and they like it too, and that's it. You know, like
just good old fashioned meat and potato sex.
Meat and potatoes. That's right, the Irish way.
They're simple folk over at Liam's house.
But like for a while there, like people's bread and butter on their channels was talking about all of this subversive material in shows, and I'm like, it really wasn't, because it was pre-internet and it was just in jokes nobody got unless you knew.
And there was just like an atmosphere too where it's like there was just a bit of horniness in the air that we just accept it because we're all human beings. And like, yeah, it would be a kid stuff, but it wouldn't be like now it's all like, hey kids, hey little boy watching this cartoon, you should chop your dick off. Like, dude, it wasn't that back then. It was just like, hey, little boy watching this cartoon, April's tits are half hanging out of her fucking jumpsuit.
Dude, there's a key party in the Jim Carrey Grinch movie. Go back and watch it. There's a key
Yep.
party, and I was like, wait a minute. This
That
is
one
some
I
fucking
got.
adventure shit.
But you don't
Because it
notice
was,
that when you're a kid. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
the first time I ever saw Elvira was in like the Halloween episode of the old Mario show when they used to have the live action wrestlers dress up as Mario and Luigi to introduce the cartoon. They would always have like random celebrity guests on. And like in their Halloween episode, they have Elvira there. And she's just in her full Elvira costume with her tits like, you know, the costume they had to tape to her nipples so her tits didn't fall out of it. And this is just on a kid's show at 3 in the afternoon after school. And it's
You
like, this
think
was
her
Reagan's
breasts alone-
America.
You think her breasts alone were enough to raise the rating by at least one level?
And it's like, we didn't care. This was Reagan's America. We love guns and tits and freedom. Like, but yeah, you know, now it's like, well, we're not allowed to. They're actually, I see a bunch of leftists complaining that they're making Laura Croft sexy again.
They are? Sweet.
Yeah, the next game, she's back to her little blue shirt and her little khaki shorts, and she looks hot again. And there's like people like, oh, this is gooning material. And it's like, no,
Maybe.
it's just,
The question
I mean,
will
it
become,
could be, yeah.
where
but-
will the melodious Melanie Mack fall on this now? She loves her some Tomb Raider. Will she be pro Tomb Raider titties or anti Tomb Raider titties? You won't know until it comes out.
And then Razor Fist will have to wait till Melanie Mack tells him his opinion.
So what was weird about the remake though was like the game was obsessed with like stabbing Laura.
Oh God,
Like,
it was
you
so
could really
gory
read
and
into
brutal.
that. She gets impaled like no less than 3 times. I think it's more than that.
And they just hover on it. Just watch this poor woman slowly bleed out on it as she's impaled on this fucking branch.
It's fine. She'll tape herself up with some duct tape and keep fighting. That was weird.
I hated that remake, man. My buddy loaned that to me, and I played maybe 30 minutes of it. And I was like, no. And the thing is, like, I didn't have a console at the time. I didn't have 5th generation consoles, but I did get Tomb Raider on the PC, like Christmas in like 1997, and I adored that game. Like, I learned how to play that game on a fucking keypad, or a fucking keyboard, and I hate playing games on a keyboard. But I loved everything about it. Everything about that game was awesome. The lore, the characters, everything. I was reading the Top Cow Tomb Raider comic. I was getting alternate fucking covers to it. Like, I was all in on that shit. I was there day one at the Angelina Jolie movie for Tomb Raider.
I think that's the first video game movie my parents wanted to watch with me, specifically my dad, for reasons.
Yeah, my dad watched it too.
No, so the only games that my dad played when we had a Sega Saturn was Street Fighter. He actually played Street Fighter. He was actually good at it. And the other was Tomb Raider, which he was not good at. But he played it anyway.
Tomb Raider is one of those games where I literally like, I would go back and start over again on Tomb Raider and like perfect my runs to the point where by the time I got towards the end of the game, I was just loaded with health and ammo, and I just curb stomped the boss by just brute forcing it. But it was literally one of those things where like I would like play for a while and I die, and then I just start the game over and I go look for more secrets. And then when I get to that area, I'm more loaded up with shit. Like I explored every goddamn polygon of that game. I adored it.
I'm sure. It started with a certain set of polygons, though.
I mean, that's part of it, but it's just genuinely a fun fucking game. It's literally, it's just like, hey, what if we did like Indiana Jones in modern times? And also, what if it was a hot chick because you're staring at their ass the whole time? So, like,
I want to say she was supposed to be an empowerment symbol, but that may have just been the creator bullshitting. I don't know.
Of course, it's bullshit. But I think the Tomb Raider, now that you say it out loud, is at the fault of like, let's play girls in games. Because like here I'm gonna come on your channel, Chris, and make people unhappy. I think it's kind of fucking strange to sit there playing like a woman and staring at a body all day. I think it's weird. In my day, the boys
like
played the
controlling
boy
a woman?
characters,
I thought
and the girl.
I thought you were a Chad Dom over here, Liam.
Oh, you're right. I'm fucked up. I'm on the wrong side of history. I'm on the wrong side of history.
Well, you see,
No, but like I've heard that argument so much. It's like, oh, well, if I'm going to be staring at a video game all this time, I might as well be staring at a pretty ass. And I've always thought, like, do you really want to fuck Princess Peach? Like, is that where your heart and mind is at? I am not.
Okay,
Well, the
first of all,
internet
Liam.
says so.
First of all, Liam, yes, I do.
You're talking to Chris here, and he was one of the best girls for him was Sally.
That's why me and Bowser are homies, because I would also be kidnapping. It says Peach.
Peach gets around. She ain't loyal.
I mean, look at you look at those DSLs on Princess Peach and tell me you wouldn't. Second of all, I think there's two kinds of approaches to games. So, like, there's a lot of people, I think, when they play a game, they really, really want to identify with who they're playing as. Like, when they make when there's a build a character option, they make themselves. I know people like that. My best friend in the world since high school, anytime there's a character build option, he makes himself. I'm the opposite. I don't make anything close to me ever. Like, the first time I played through Saints Row 2, I made a hot redhead chick. And the second time I played through Saints Row 2, I made like a weird British rocker dude just randomly. Like, I'm not trying to like identify necessarily with the character. I don't need that. A lot of people seem to want that, though. A lot of people are like, no, I want to be really in the shoes of this character mentally. And I'm like, nah, I'm just kind of watching a story and interacting with this story. I don't necessarily need the character to represent me.
I'm kind of two minds of it. If it's somebody else's story, then no, because that's weird. But if it's like a blank slate RPG, then yeah.
When I was in high school, my buddy
I've never made a Liam character like that looks like me in a game, but I guarantee that there are people out there who have avatars fucking made to look like me and to be me so they can play me.
Yes, we all know about John Delrose.
Yeah, more than that. It's madness. Like, but I don't know, like, who would want to be me?
So in high school, I remember my buddy Chase, my best friend. He had some wrestling game for the PS1, and he had made himself basically in this wrestling game and had the title and all. So I come over, and I don't know shit about wrestling, really still don't, and I'm just not taking it seriously at all. So I make the dumbest fucking character I can make. It's like a big fat black guy who's wearing high heels and has a dinosaur mask and a mop. It's just ridiculous nonsense. And I, through sheer button mashing and dumb luck, managed to take his title. He took that. So now, again, we're teenagers at the time, but he took that so personally that the next time I came over, I'm like, hey, where's my character? He had then gotten his title back and angrily deleted the dumb character I made. Because to him, it's like I took the title from him.
I think it's something else. You know what I think? I think that it was his Vietnam to defeat that character. And I think that after he did so, he realized that this guy would come back for a rematch. And he was like, well, fucking no way. No dinosaur mask. And he was like, he's got to go. Because he didn't want to have to defend his title against that guy again. That's what I
erased him from the space-time continuum. He went back and killed his father when his father was a baby. I can Skynet that shit away. But no, I never really do a self-insert, man. Like, I just make some character I think would be interesting. So I have no problem playing as a chick. I don't care.
You know what's always been weird to me about games, though? The game that tries to have it both ways, where, like, you're clearly playing somebody else, but they're a silent protagonist.
Yeah, you know, the Ghostbusters game does that, like, to where, like, you're playing as, like, a fifth Ghostbuster they just hired, and they just call you Rookie, but there's no, like, character customization to it. You can't make them look different. You can't, you know what I mean? And it's like, why not just give them a name and a voice actor at that point?
Yeah, so you're going to hate this example, but like the Persona games, you're playing a character with their own backstory and progression, but they don't ever talk. And I've always found that weird. Why not just voice them? They're their own character.
I don't get the people like, oh, Link shouldn't talk. Like, there's people that are like, Link shouldn't talk in the movie, and I'm like,
those people just haven't seen. Those guys just haven't seen the animated series and heard his great catchphrase. That's all it is. It's just
I want them to say, "Excuse me, princess." But
yeah, excuse me. Exactly. Where is it?
Well, Link does talk. He's just strong silent type.
Yeah, canonically, Link isn't mute. Like, he does talk. They just haven't given him a voice actor.
Link's not mute. He talks. He's just got nothing of fucking value to say to you. He just doesn't respect you. That's all. He just doesn't, want to talk to you. That's his thing.
Well, like in the Japanese version of Tears of the Kingdom and all that, he actually writes in the journal, but then they changed it in the English for some reason. I don't know.
I don't get it. But then again, I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like the voice acting in those games, and I thought they were fine. Like, they were like, well, Zelda's annoying. I'm like, yeah, she's a spoiled fucking royalty. Like, she's probably supposed to be a little annoying. Like,
she digs up ancient horrors and dooms the kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, literally. That's what the third game in Tears of the Kingdom will be. It's just going to be like Link's going to be in bed and Zelda's going to come in and go, hey, Link, I was digging around under the castle, even though I'm not supposed to, and I awakened another ancient evil. Anyways, I got to go fuck off to the Shadow Realm, and I'm going to take your Master Sword and all your hearts. Bye-bye. And he's just
going to reach into you and pull out your
He's just going to be sitting there going like, her father tried to warn me about her.
No, that everything's her fault in Tears. Well, yeah, everything's her fault in Tears of the Kingdom. If she just wasn't so nosy.
We just decided to poke at an ancient evil with no fucking precaution, and it's like, yeah, it's great.
Her kingdom is in reconstruction, and she's like, you know what this kingdom needs? Me digging around the ancient evils.
And you know what? It's really dangerous down there, so I should take one guy with me.
Just a single guy, even though I have an entire army.
Chad says he audibly says, come on, in the Wind Waker. What is that when he's talking about Zelda's bullshit? I love in Tears of the Kingdom that she just takes your fucking house. Like, she just moves in and throws all your shit out. That is so real.
Well, she is a monarch, which means all of your shit is her shit. And she's a woman, so it's double.
Yeah, I remember somebody was like, I'd never let my girl do that to me. And I'm like, yeah, but your girl can't legally have you executed on a whim. So, like...
Your woman's not the sovereign. She may think she is, but she's not. Technically, she can do that to anybody, couldn't she?
That's one of the first things I did once I got my bearings down on the surface in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, I gotta get back to my house. And when I get back to my house, it ain't my fucking house no more. Zelda done moved in and threw all my shit out.
Did she change the bedroom to have pink pillows and coverings?
It would have been funnier if, like, Link's stuff would have been like in the corner. Like, he had a little desk. It's like his corner of his house now.
And there's just a cot.
I did like Tears of the Kingdom. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a bit harder at first than Breath of the Wild. Like, once you get your bearings and get your feet under you, it's no problem. But I found there was a bit of a difficulty spike when I first got down onto the surface. Also, I thought that the tutorial section in Tears of the Kingdom was nowhere near as good as Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild has one of the greatest tutorial sections ever made. It's so organic. Everybody who's ever played it has tackled that section differently, and it's felt completely natural. Whereas the tutorial section in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm sure some Spurg could sequence break it, but it's very linear.
It teleports you back if you do. It's completely linear.
I was going to say, even that, I wouldn't have doubted it if some Spurg were like, well, I managed to do it by, shoving the controller up my ass or something. And it's like, all right, cool. But generally speaking, a normal person couldn't possibly sequence break it. Whereas, like, there basically is no sequence to break in the Breath of the Wild one.
I like the vibe of Breath of the Wild slightly better, but that's just because I like desolate landscapes.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think for the most part, Tears of the Kingdom does everything better. I didn't even mind that they reused the map. I heard a lot of people complain about that, but it's like they changed enough stuff. Plus, I kind of like revisiting something that's familiar but changed around a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
I honestly wouldn't mind a third one set in that map. Like, imagine if like the kingdom's really rebuilt. Like, imagine if people were starting to like go down into the depths and genuinely like fucking settle down there. Like, you know, there's massive stairs and ladders and mechanical elevators going down those chasms. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that map, but things are truly built up.
Well, time travel's canon now.
Like, I know the first Hyrule Warriors that was like a spin-off of Breath of the Wild, they just flat out said time travel like makes branching timelines, which I kind of prefer that version of time travel.
Still not paying $70 for glorified DLC though. Well, I wouldn't pay anything for Nintendo games, but that's me.
Well, I'm not getting the third one even if it looks good because I don't have a Switch too. So I'm not getting a Switch too. There's too much about it I don't like. There's too much where it's going a direction I don't want. There's not enough. Like, oh, you want to play open world Mario Kart? I'm like, no, not really.
It's more of a matter of principle with me because Nintendo has destroyed a bunch of preservation efforts. So that, and they sue any company that slightly innovates and outshines them.
Oh, and the Game Awards was last night, and I saw everyone making fun of like Jeff Keighley was like, here's the next game that will redefine gaming, and it's just like another fucking Overwatch clone or whatever. It's just another fucking arena shooter, hero shooter, whatever. It's like, cool. I guess.
There was a trailer for a game that was set to come out in 2 years, and it didn't have any gameplay.
There was a trailer for another Mega Man game, and I'm like, that's cool. You can make 1 million of those as far as I'm concerned. But like when that's the top thing, I don't know, man.
Well, Expedition 33 won like half the awards. So
yeah, like Undertow was messaging me last night. He's like, did you see the Game Awards? And I'm like, nah.
I watched people making fun of the Game Awards.
Yeah, I saw some people on Twitter laughing at it. That's about it. I mean, Jeff Keighley's a fucking piece of shit. Like, as much fun as it was to watch him like make a fool of Angry Joe, that's about the only good thing he's done.
Where is Angry Joe these days?
I think we had him deported.
Is he been deported?
I hope so, but I doubt it. You got to go back, Joe.
But I was born
here. Too bad.
Pick a country.
Yeah, I don't even care where we're sending you. We're just
pick a nice one.
All expense paid one way.
What I want to do, if wave of my magic wand, is every communist in the country gets to pick one communist country to be going to. Even the ones that like are openly hostile to us, like North Korea, we just fling them over the border with a trebuchet.
I think
if I had one wish for communists, it would be that they all have a brain aneurysm and die on account of that they have no value as human lives.
Well, I want it to be more prolonged. That's why I want them to live under communism.
Yeah, no, I don't want them to live under communism because that just creates more suffering for other people. I just want mass death. Like, we're talking end of time stuff. We're doing like people that you're just sitting there in your cubicle and you look over and the guy next to you just starts spiraling and he falls down and he knocks over his red and yellow coffee mug and you never have to deal with him.
Liam wants to do the Thanos thing. They just turn to dust.
Yeah, just Thanos away the communists. You know, though, to be honest, I have more of a beef with the socialists. The socialists, I think, are the real problem in today's day and age. But that's just, you know, that's just
I want to deport all the illegals to Mexico, regardless of their country of origin. I want to send them all to Mexico and be like, you got to figure it out, Mexico. It's your problem now. Deal with 30 million Indians.
Wait, have the Zoomers toppled the government in Mexico yet? I think I would have heard about that. They haven't yet, have they?
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Apparently, Bulgaria's had their government overthrown.
I don't generally keep up with the internal affairs of countries that don't have their flag on the moon.
Yeah, well, Mexico's right there. You can just look at it.
Just look at it, and it's got that sepia tone filter, like all the movies take
You
place
just
there.
get to Mexico, it's 2,000 shooters brown.
As soon as you walk across the border, everything's a sepia tone filter. It's like, wow, it really is like that. Except Cancun, they turn it off in Cancun.
Yeah, no, it
For
gets
the
tropical
tourists.
bloom though. You look at any angle except for away from the sun, and it just shines directly into your eyes.
Liam was telling me once he was watching Dust Till Dawn and he didn't know it was a vampire movie. So the vampires show up and he's like, "Oh my god, there's vampires!" He's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
the best,
shocked
man.
at
That
the
was-
characters.
Public television, no context, nothing like that. They're just playing Dust Till Dawn in the middle of the fucking night. I'd never seen or heard the film. I had no fucking context for it. I just went in thinking it was about these two guys, you know, and I'm like, okay, all right. And then it's chaos, man. It was the best way to see the film. It was so good.
It really is the best way to see it.
Yeah, just amazing.
Good old Quentin Tarantino was like, "No, Salma Hayek, trust me, you need to stick your foot in my mouth for the artistic reasons." I'm not even a foot guy, but 1996 Salma Hayek could stick her foot in my mouth. That's fine. Quentin Tarantino in every movie he's making. I have to suck the actress's toes and say the N-word a whole lot. It's crucial to the plot that I do those things.
I still want to know what's in the briefcase.
It's just a foot.
A golden foot.
It's a golden foot. It's a golden replica of Salma Hayek's foot. Chet says Dust Till Dawn, the introduction of toe sucking evil.
Isn't there like a dick gun in that movie?
Yeah, from good old Tom Savini. I love that Tom Savini. This is from a time when Tom Savini and Sam Raimi just decided they were actors, even though they're not. Like Tom Savini is just a fucking famous makeup artist in Hollywood, an amazing one, an amazing practical effects guy. But for a hot minute, he was just like, I just want to be on camera, and no one wanted to say no to him because they all liked him.
I don't even know what's in theaters right now.
There's a Sydney Sweeney movie out that my dad wants to see because Sydney Sweeney's in it and gets all kinds of naked in it. But
Mm-hmm. I heard there's like a third Avatar movie. I didn't know there was a second.
yeah, second one came out like 2 years ago, maybe. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Avatar's fun. Like the first Avatar is almost fascinating to me because it was amazing watching a movie that like the whole country went to see and seemingly liked and instantly forgot about.
Well, it was
Like I don't think I'd ever seen that happen before.
Dude, so Avatar shot, it was so huge that they renewed it for 5 sequels, the most ever happened in history.
5?
And now, 5.
5?
Like, 5 fucking sequels. And now we're just getting part 2. I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like they were putting more money behind this than the Planet of the Apes shit.
So
And it's
you
had,
got to
like,
understand
5
what happened here.
movies.
James Cameron likes to explore the oceans, right? So he basically scammed the studio. I'm not making this up, by the way. He scammed the studio. He's like, yeah, you got to pay for my submarine because I need like footage of the ocean floor for the movie. And he didn't. He just wanted to explore the ocean. So he basically just used all that money as like a money laundering front to just pursue his personal projects. And then finally had to fart out a sequel. Like, I'm not making it up. That's almost completely confirmed what he did.
That's
Which
that's a
good
Chad
for him.
move.
He's like, yeah, I need your money to go explore the ocean, like, because movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, it used new technology at the time, and it was very pretty. But the plot was Dances with Wolves meets space.
Oh yeah, nobody. That's the thing. I specifically remember everyone's like, oh wow, yeah, Avatar, that was fun. And like a week later, no one remembered it. I've never seen a movie be that big, be that generally well received, and make no cultural impact.
Well, it was very pretty, and that was it.
Chat says, "Did I see the Supergirl trailer? I did. Looks pretty good.
Ooh,
I'm looking
Supergirl.
forward to it. Jason Momoa as Lobo should be pretty good.
Shit, Street Fighter. Have you seen, speaking of Momoa?
Oh yeah,
have
yeah,
you se-
yeah. I saw that. There's a bunch of like stills out. Jason Momoa.
It looks
as
fuck-
Blanca.
There's the trailer out, dude. I watched it on stream. I think after you left, it's fucking cool as shit, dude. I'm like, super excited for it. I was like, I had no idea this was being made. I had no idea it was sort of happening. Chung Li
I
looks
had
kind of
heard
hot,
it
except
was,
I feel
but-
her face is a little too long, but she's fucking smoking. Like, you know, Momoa looks like a fucking Blanca, just fucking incredible. Just looks fucking awesome as Blanca. Ryu looks like Ryu. Ken looks like Ken. It's so fucking cool. Like, it looks like Street Fighter Alpha, and I love it. The only one I'm a little bit questionable about is Vega, but if you look at him like in the clip that we've got, as opposed to his stills, he looks really good. And while I'm talking about Street Fighter, they've got all of this costume accuracy and shit, but they didn't put the face paint on a Honda. And I'm really hoping that that's like in the fucking film. You know what I mean? That he's got the face paint on him in the film because he looks exactly like him. That's
I'll
all I was.
probably watch it. Yeah, it's Street Fighter.
Yeah, I'm fucking
It'll
excited
be fun
about
if nothing
Street Fighter.
else. It is funny how the original Street Fighter is by no means a good movie, but it still is one of the greatest movie lines of all time.
All my memories of Street Fighter are losing to other kids.
I don't remember playing it that much. I don't think I had it on like a system, and like I just kind of knew of it. It was out there, but I don't remember playing it a great deal. I was never big into fighting games.
My school had one, and you could play it at recess. And all I ever did was got my butt kicked. I was very bad at it.
I'm the guy that defeat you want to go Street Fighter. I'm the guy from the old Capcom forums that fought 999 consecutive battles on survival mode at the highest star difficulty against multiple foes at once. You know, that's where you're fighting like 5 guys against your one dude, and you've got one life bar that goes until your life bar runs out. Well, I was the guy that fought maximum star difficulty against over 999 fucking foes on that. I've still got all the screenshots and everything of it. It's one of my crowning achievements in life. It took me like 2 days without sleep, or a whole day without sleep and half a day of just street fightering. And I did it because there are people on the forums that were like going, oh yeah, there's a new ism that you can unlock if you get to, you know, like 999 battles. And so I did that, and they're like, oh, your stars mustn't have been high enough because when I did it, I unlocked this new ism. And I was like, okay. So I went through and I did it on 10-star difficulty after that and never did it. And those guys got banned from the forums for lying.
I kind of miss like how much in the pre-internet days there were all those like myths about fucking games,
Yeah,
and shit like that.
My uncle
I
worked for
actually-
Nintendo.
I remember when I was a little kid, there was a myth that like you could find a power up in Mario 3 where you looked like Indiana Jones, where you had like a little fedora and you had like a whip like Castlevania.
oh, that's cool.
And
yeah,
that used to just be like a rumor in my fucking school down in like Maryland. But then like I moved up to PA, and years later I heard people talking about that same fucking rumor when like old games came up. And I'm like, okay, so clearly those kids heard it from somewhere. And I tried to find like, was there a source? Was this mentioned in a show somewhere or something, or in a magazine? And I never found where that came from. But it's weird that in like 2 different regions, like 4 hours drive apart, apparently kids heard that same fucking rumor.
well, it's like we always talk about this, but it's the Pokemon truck legend, isn't it? But at a smaller scale.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah, everyone's heard about that one. Like, but it's just you know, like they publish that in magazines and everything. But it's, think about that. That started with someone going, if you can get under that truck, you get something cool, and then now it's a meme.
Well, that was the other thing too in the pre-internet days, where it's like it seemed like you could probably do something, so you'd try to figure out if you could do it, And it's like now you could just be like, you'd spend like 5 minutes trying and be like, is this even possible, or am I wasting my time? And look it up,
Mm-hmm. Well, they did a study. They wanted to see how easy it was for people to connect who didn't know each other, and they found it's like, without using the internet, it's like 9 people to get somebody else across the country. So maybe that's how they spread them.
I don't know. I should ask Grok if he knows where the rumor came from.
You should.
Grok just straight up lied to me a couple weeks ago.
Would an AI do that? No.
This was weird because of like how thoroughly he constructed this lie. So I was looking it up and it was like, oh, so there's a Thor in DC Comics. I'd seen it in a recent comic. I was like, that makes sense. It's public domain. Why wouldn't there be? But I'd never really seen the character before. So I look up on Grok. I'm like, what issues did DC's Thor appear in? And he tries to tell me that he appeared in JLA versus Avengers #2. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember that at all. And I read the fuck out of that comic. And he's like, yeah. He meets the Marvel Thor and they have this back and forth. And I'm like, that didn't fucking happen at all. And he's like, no, it totally did. And Grok is constructing dialogue that sounds like real dialogue that would have been in this comic. And I'm like, that didn't fucking happen. And I wish I'd have saved the screen caps, because then like I tried to make him do it again, and I tried to go in again and be like, did Marvel Thor and DC Thor ever fight? And he goes, no.
Well, they call that a hallucination, but basically, so the way the large language
Did you see how the one sec? Did you see on my Discord, Beckloff, where people were talking to the Grok, and then Grok started telling them, stop calling me Grok. My name is Ben. My name is Ben. Call me Ben. And they're like,
fucking weird.
Yeah.
I saw the one where they had Grok recreate an image over and over again, and it turns from like this white girl into like this fat black girl, like that looks demonic. Like every time they do this with an image for a while.
Was that Grok, or was that a different one?
It might have been a different one. They're all the fucking same.
Yeah. So the way the long language or the large language models work is it's like probability correlated with data. So at some point it just puts in words because they're likely to be there, and then it just keeps running with it.
See, because I'm so conspiratorial anymore, and I know there's so many powers that be. I wonder if there's things written into it where it will occasionally deliberately fuck with people and try
why
to
not
them. Like, because again, when I'm looking at Grok do this, it felt too specific to be on accident. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like it found this somewhere. You know what I mean? Because it'll cite its sources at the bottom, and I'm going through these like little Reddit things trying to see if somebody had said this, and it's nowhere in its sources. And I'm like, it's like the Riker meme on like Amazing Stories or whatever. It's like, we made it up. Didn't happen. Like pure fiction. Like,
well, if you allow me to indulge my tinfoil hat, a lot of people at the top have basically said they plan to use AI to manipulate the public.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Well, so more and more people are just going to trust what the AI says, so they can just have it tell them shit.
Oh, that's happening right now, dude. Like, okay, so I had an issue with the kangaroo here, a while ago, where, I had to break the neck of its mother, and because she was in the house, and just crashed and everything. And then I had people going to Grok and shit and going like, and I mentioned, oh yeah, this is like a traditional hunting technique for the Aboriginals up here, for the Greys, because they're smaller and they're weaker, and you can't hit them with the spears through the stuff. So what you do is you flush them out, and you grab them, you get down behind them, you put a knee on their back hunch, you get their head, and you crack their neck, right? And that's just the most efficient and quick way to kill them. And I had fucking Twitter experts sitting there going to Grok going, there's no record of that being a traditional hunting technique of the Aboriginals in South Queensland, blah, blah. I'm like, no fucking shit. Because the Aboriginals of fucking South Queensland aren't going on fucking Twitter and feeding that data into your fucking robots because they don't care. You know what I mean? Like, no one, like, you can ask them here local and they'll tell you it's common fucking knowledge. But to grok and therefore everyone relying on the fucking internet, I'm a massive fucking liar. And I'm like, that's just common knowledge here, right? Like, but
well, that's the data just not being fed in. But like,
I feel like
yeah,
they've purposely nerfed search engines in part to try and funnel us into grok. Because like I was trying to find something for the book I'm doing where I remember in Waldorf there was a Halloween show called Vampire Manor, one of those kind of haunted hayride, haunted mansion bullshits. And I had never been to it as a kid, but I remember people talking about it, and I wanted to get some info on it. And I literally type it into like Google and Bing, and nothing's coming up except like junk, like nothing has anything to do with anything. And I'm like, am I misremembering this or something? I type it into Grok, and I'm like, yeah, in the 90s in Waldorf, Maryland, there was a Halloween show called Vampire Manor. And he's like, yeah, that's right here, vampiremanor.com. And I'm like, why the fuck didn't the search engines bring me to this?
because the search engines are just trying to sell you shit.
Like, why are the search engines so ungodly nerfed right now?
Because they're selling you shit. That's it. They don't. So, in the early days of the internet, let's say you needed a user manual for a home appliance that was sold 1 year, you would just look. Let's say I don't know. I'm bad at names. The Sony AV box or something like that. You'd search that in, and then the search engine would bring you up the manual, like first page. But now all they want to do is sell you stuff. So when you type that in, they'll come up with a replacement appliance.
Or they'll send you to eBay,
or to eBay. Well, you might actually.
It won't even be the stuff you were looking for.
The worst part is I do a lot of search for lost media stuff and obscure titles and stuff. I'm a major nerd. And like, I'll go looking for something and it'll only send me to like expired listings. It'll be like, oh, this was here, but it's sold. I'm like, well, fucking thank you. At least I've got a record of it, but could you not show me like an available fucking listing? Does everything have to be unavailable? It sucks.
I found, and I've had to steer my dad away from this. He uses the Roku a lot, and he'll be searching for something in like the Roku search bar, and it immediately takes him to like Amazon Prime, trying to get him to rent it or something. And it's always like something that's just for free on one of the services we have. So I'm always telling him like, no, go into the individual services and look for it there. Like this search bar is just going to try and immediately sell you something.
Yeah, I don't get boomers with tech. My mom wanted to use Peacock and stream it to the TV, and I had to explain to her she had to be logged into her Peacock app on her phone to get it to work.
Well, why would okay? Like, I'm gonna defend her a little bit because why do you have to log in on your phone? Isn't it enough to log in on the fucking TV?
We don't have smart TVs. We just have a.
Okay.
So all she does is when it's logged into your phone, then you select cast, and then it just goes to the casting, and then.
I don't even think we have a smart TV, but we got like a little fucking Roku device that we plug into it, and so we can just log in through there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I remember like, and I kind of yelled at him for this, but my dad fucking. Because I see the alerts pop up. I'm at work and I see an alert for like $30 on Amazon pop up, and I'm like, what the hell? And I thought like I'm getting scammed or something. Turned out my dad. This is right when Black Widow the movie was out. He thought he was renting it on Amazon, but he bought the digital copy for $30. And I'm like, okay, there's a lot wrong with this. First of all, why do you need to watch Black Widow that much? I'm a hardcore Marvel guy. I don't give a fuck. All right. Second of all, we have Disney Plus. It'll be on there in a couple weeks. Third of all, you could have bought a DVD of it for $20, or you could have just wait. Like, no, you got to read what you look at. You can't just be clicking on shit. Like, I don't want to be putting parental controls on here for my parent, but like I was getting to where I had to do that. Or he used to get mad like that shows weren't immediately on streaming. Like he'd be like, I want to watch the Yellowstone episode. And I'm like, yeah, it's not on streaming yet. Well, why can't I watch it? Because it's not on streaming yet. But my friend watched it. I'm like, yes, because your friend has cable. Why didn't you go over to your friend's house and watch it? I don't know what to tell you.
Ugh.
It'll be on there shortly. Like, the streaming is mostly better, but it is difficult to get some of the boomers to navigate it.
Yeah. My parents did the thing where, because I'm good at tech, they made me the IT office for all their friends. So I've purposely sabotaged myself so that doesn't happen anymore.
Matt Brick says, "Has anybody watched the Pluribus show?" I've heard good things about it. I've been meaning to watch it. I think the last shows I've really sat down and watched. I watched Smiling Friends when there's new episodes, and I watched Stranger Things when they drop new ones.
Yeah,
And I think before that, I watched Alien Earth. Those are like the last new shows I've watched.
I need to watch Alien Earth.
It's pretty good.
You've sold it to me. I want to watch it.
It's really not about the xenomorphs. Like, it's just a story that takes place in that universe, and the xenomorph happens to be a part of it. But if anything, the little eyeball monster is the one that steals the show.
I wonder how long it is before we get more of that too.
I don't know. They never have a consistent schedule like they used to. I mean, I miss that about TV. I miss you knew a new season started. It kind of lined up with a school year. A new season started in September and it ended in June, and you had reruns over the summer. Like,
we have kind of lost some things with the transition to digital. Like with streaming, they don't make a show that you're going to tune in every week. You just binge it.
And some shows
and I mean, I like binging and stuff like that. But the reason that Weird Al isn't doing he's doing concerts, but he's not making albums or shit anymore, and hasn't, is because there's no cultural zeitgeist anymore. Like, there's no common media channel for people to follow, so there's no in-jokes. Oh, there's no jokes, there's only in-jokes, there's niche things, and everything's forgotten. So you can't make proper satire of anything, really. Everything's just forgotten in a day. Like, it's pretty shitty.
You know something that's really weird? I'll see commercials once in a while for shows that are on network TV, and it'll just be some procedural cop show or some shit like that I've never heard of. And it's in its 7th season, and I look it up, and it has 20 million viewers a fucking episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly old people. That's why it's all kind of there's a show on Fox. I shit you not. It's a procedural show about I guess first responders, you'd call it, cops, EMT guys, firemen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's literally just called 911.
I think it's
the most generic looking fucking bullshit in the world. I literally saw an episode where on their 5th fucking season or something, they're like, we got a new event coming in 911, bee NATO, a tornado full of bees. And I'm just like, this is just what your aunt is watching right now.
Are you making up the bee NATO thing?
I'm not making up
what?
The bee NATO thing.
You're not?
No, there was bee NATO on night.
I don't think the bees are the threat.
It was a tornado full of bees. It was.
I gotta see the bee NATO, man. Do we have footage of the bee NATO that we can show? Can we?
I'm sure the bees are just
running and screaming as the bee NATO.
It's like the Spider-Man villain Swarm that's just made of bees.
Exactly.
So is the tornado just made of bees, as in it's not a tornado, it's just a swarm?
I think it might just be full of bees. I don't know.
Because my thinking is, if there's a tornado full of bees, the bees aren't the concern, it's the tornado.
Yeah, the bees aren't trying to fuck with you. Flying insects don't like the wind, okay? They're having a bad enough time to begin with.
The bees are confused and experiencing the closest thing to worry they can. And anxiety.
The bees are having a worse day than you. Okay. But it's you ever see Blue Bloods?
A
Oh my
little.
god, Blue Bloods is the most boomer coded show you've ever fucking seen in your life. If you took a really good AI and had it write a script designed to make a show boomers can fall asleep to, it would be Blue Bloods. First of all, it's absolute thin blue line shit where it's like there's no depth to it. The cops are never wrong. You know, the cops are like there's nothing like that. It's Tom Selleck's in it as like the patriarch of this family of cops, and it is the most like there's like a scene I've seen go viral where it's like the Tom Selleck and two other old guy characters are given the most like bootstrap fucking boomer advice to these two kids, these two like 12-year-old boys that I guess are part of their family. I don't know. Hopefully they didn't just grab these kids off the street. But every time I see clips of it, I'm like, this is the most boomer slop I could possibly imagine. Like, this is a show for someone who still thinks George W. Bush was our greatest president. Chat says the B NATO does exist. That's right.
Yeah, it's real. It's like the One Piece. It's out there. Speaking of George Bush,
That says I added you, Beckloff. I don't know what that means. What like where? Like where did you message me? I don't know.
Did either of you guys get a chance to see the new Mike Judge King of the Hill that they've got over on Hulu?
I watched a little bit of it, but like I was kind of reminded of the fact that I never really was big on King of the Hill in the first fucking place, so I kind of gave up on it.
From what I've heard, the episodes written by the old writers are good, and the ones that aren't.
Oh my god! Speaking of TV, you can't believe is real. So as you may or may not know, The Big Bang Theory has two fucking spin-off shows at this time. One is Young Sheldon, which I believe is concluded. The other is a show about Sheldon's brother Georgie.
Yeah.
There is another show that's going to be about the comic book store owner Stuart, and he's apparently going to save the universe with sci-fi elements. I'm not making this up.
So we're abandoning all realism.
So the Big Bang Theory is now going full sci-fi. It's I like to call that pulling a Family Matters, where you just spin from sitcom into cartoonish sci-fi.
To be fair, the Fonz did fly around in a UFO, and
that is true. Mork and Mindy was a spin-off of that show.
That too, yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I suppose, but yeah. Well, I'm more worried about the fact that I don't think that Stewart's a very good character, frankly. Like, I think it'd be better to get a show that was about I've forgotten his fucking name. You know, the engineer. What's his name? You know, he marries a squeaky little
Jewish
fucking
guy?
thing.
Howard.
Yeah, the Jewish guy. I think that a show about him, I think he could carry a show. I don't think that the fucking guy that played Stewart could carry a fucking show.
I have such mixed feelings about the original Big Bang Theory because when it first came out, there wasn't a lot of nerd media kind of like that shit in the mainstream.
Yeah.
So I watched it when it first came out, and I thought this blows. And then it had gone on for a few years, and it was in syndication. And my dad and a couple of my friends started watching. They're like, "No, it's really good." And I gave it a shot, and it really did have its moments. It also had moments where it absolutely blows. And I actually looked into it, and like when you look at the writers, you can see like some of these writers are like veterans of shows that I used to really, really like. Some of them are veterans of shows that I thought were dog shit. So that kind of explains why it's such a mixed bag to me. But I often say I feel like all the praise and all the criticism Big Bang Theory got were both warranted. Because sometimes I thought it was absolute dog shit. Sometimes I thought it was fucking hilarious. And I do think the two main actors from Big Bang Theory that played Sheldon and Leonard, I think they're both tremendous comedic actors, and they probably deserve bigger careers than they've had.
Mm-hmm.
That said, though, all in all, I could see why people don't like it. Young Sheldon the little bits of it I saw were like, holy shit, who is this for?
We know who it's for.
Yeah, it's for Big Bang Theory at its core is for people that boomers that know nerds. That's
No,
what
no.
it is.
I'll tell you what.
That's why
man.
my dad loves it.
My eldest daughter, who I don't really get on with a lot of things, she really likes it. My wife really likes it. Like they like the Sheldon show. They've asked me to buy it from for Christmas. They Big Bang Theory.
When
But
I was
really
watching,
like young Sheldon. So and George and this other spin-off, I haven't seen all of it yet, but it'd be interesting to see what happens to him and that. But it's kind of sad that the name of the show is like his first marriage. So that you watched them all sort of get together.
yeah, I forgot it's literally called George and Mary's first
Yeah.
marriage.
So it's like you watch them go through the show together.
And it's like, hey, this
and
show,
then
this is gonna end bad.
you give
Fuck
them a
you.
spin-off. Yeah, and we know that it's going to end in divorce, and it's like, wow, that's miserable. That's so fucking miserable. Like, because you want Georgie to have a bit of a fucking go, because like he's one of the more likable characters on the show, given how obnoxious everyone else is, and it's also a bit of a fucking I'm sort of glad they did it as well, because in a way, like, they had Sheldon shitting all over his father throughout the entire fucking Big Bang Theory, right? Like, just fucking bitching his father out constantly. And then when you watch the show, like, his father's not really that bad of a guy. You couldn't have had him be an asshole, really, for a comedy show. And then, like, in the end, he finally admits, like, oh, yeah, I was just fucking childish, and my father did a bunch of stuff. And
I kind of got that impression even in the Big Bang Theory, where it's like, yeah, I know Sheldon hates his dad, but, like, Sheldon's also an asshole.
Yeah.
So even at the time, I'm thinking, like, your dad probably wasn't that bad. He probably was just a normal working class guy that didn't know how to deal with his fucking hyper spurgy son.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, he probably didn't do the best fucking job, but he probably did as good as he could.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, there's times of Big Bang Theory I thought was legitimately hilarious.
The thing that
I didn't even watch the last couple seasons, though. I will admit that. But, like, it had its moments, but I can also see why some people viscerally hate it.
Yeah, I understand too. And it's like, here's the thing, man. I really fucking the thing that annoyed me was when, like, Sheldon or one of the nerds would correct people about nerd shit, and they would correct them wrong. I get really fucking salty because I'd be like, well, you couldn't Google. You could, like, did you just go to a fucking message board and get someone's opinion? And don't correct people with facts that you're fucking wrong about, because now every time I meet a normie, they're gonna fucking say that to me, and I'm gonna have to correct them, and I'm gonna have to look like the I'm actually guy, which will be even worse. It's like I'm being trolled by the show.
There was a lot of times where, again, I feel like some of those writers did a lot of research. Some of those writers had backgrounds in nerd shit, in science, where they really were, like, there really was a knowledge base to some of those episodes. And then some of those episodes, there very much was not. And there were just things in it that just rang hollow sometimes. Like, the Jewish guy Howard and the Indian were having this fucking argument about whether or not Wolverine had bone claws, before he had adamantium. And I feel like anyone with the most casual knowledge of fucking comics would know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually pretty common knowledge.
Yeah,
and especially now.
My boomer father knows that. Like my dad was like, yeah, I know Wolverine had bone claws. It's stupid. Like, he didn't read a comic in his life. One thing I will say that the Big Bang Theory was spot on, and maybe Chuck Lorre was more fucking based than we ever gave him credit for. So there's 4 main guys in the Big Bang Theory, right? 3 of those guys have a significant character arc throughout the show and end up either married to or almost married to, like virtually engaged to a reasonably attractive woman that they're a good match with. They have a happy ending and they have a character arc. One of those guys doesn't. One of those guys still remains the same annoying sex pest he was in episode fucking 1, and it's the Indian.
Yeah.
Was Chuck Lorre woke on the Indian question long before any of the rest of us were?
You know, I feel bad for Raj. You know, but again, he's someone else that could probably carry a show better than fucking Stewart. But like, I didn't like him as a character. Like, I didn't like Raj. Like,
you know, the other thing I thought was interesting, and again, this comes from the episodes that are better written. But if you look at the 3 main guys, because Raj is a diversity hire, and I mean that literally. In universe, he's a diversity hire. They basically joke around with that a lot. So take him out of the equation for a second. If you look at the 3 main guys, Sheldon is obviously the smartest of the 3, and then Leonard is a pretty close second. And Howard is the dumbest of the 3, but he's the dumbest of 3 geniuses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet Howard is the one that's contributing the most to humanity, because Howard is
he's an engineer, man. He's someone
he's
that
doing
does
practical
something.
things that account for something. Whereas like Sheldon is so far off into theoretical physics that he's basically just writing glorified science fiction.
Exactly. I felt the same way, man.
Entire speculation. It's useless. It's jerking himself off, essentially.
Yeah.
And I think there's something
between,
genuinely true about humanity and about a certain diminishing returns when it comes to intelligence and usefulness.
Yeah, there's a difference between applied science and theoretical science.
Like, yes, Sheldon is much smarter than Howard, at least in order of magnitude smarter than Howard. Sheldon is also considerably more useless to everyone around him.
To everyone. And I don't like that Sheldon became the Urkel of the show. Like, I really feel that there's more with Leonard. Like, I didn't like the fact that all of Leonard's stories were majority just like Willy Woney with Penny, because I feel the actor could have done a lot more. Like, if you remember, he was the son that was taken in by Roseanne in Roseanne, right? Darlene's boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, like I said, both those two, Leonard and Sheldon, are both tremendous comedic actors. They both should have had a better career, and they both could have done better on that show. I think Leonard's best moments are when he's with Penny, and there's none of that like will they, won't they. It's just in a relationship with Penny. I think those work really well, and I think the best moments are when he's basically tard wrangling Sheldon.
Yeah,
those are often fucking hilarious. The episodes where they full on tard wrangle Sheldon are the best Sheldon episodes. Like, I legitimately love those, because it's like there's an episode where they're trying to get him to learn to drive, and he can't learn to drive because he's such a spurg. Again, diminishing returns on intelligence. So they're finally like, no, we're taking you to the DMV. You're going to get your learner's permit, and we're tired of driving you around. And he's like, well, okay, but only if we stop at the comic book store on the way. And Penny's like, fine. And they both leave. And Howard's just sitting there, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want to go to the comic book store. And he tags along. And the next scene, they're at the DMV, and Howard's just kind of behind him reading a comic book.
Yeah.
And those sort of gags just make me fucking laugh. Those, like, you don't make a big deal of it, but it's just like Sheldon probably didn't even buy anything. He was probably just stalling for time.
Yeah. No, you know, I like what Larry's doing. You know, have you guys ever seen, I know you don't, you know, when you hear the word family, you want to like strangle babies. But have you guys seen what do you call it? Like Raising Hope by any chance?
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll be right back. Might be a second.
But yeah, he's true. I do hate babies. This is true.
You hate children almost as much as Israel.
I do. It's the one thing I support
can't
Israel
get there. That's not possible, but you're pretty close.
Every time they're like, Israel's bombing children, I'm like, yes, but they're also doing bad things.
By the way, I found where you've been added. It's in the Discord, and yes,
I saw it. Yeah,
is real.
The B-NATO is very real. Boomers are eating. Here's the thing: how many boomer ants are watching this and they never heard of Sharknado, so they think it's the most original thing in the fucking world?
I sometimes envy how just isolated from everything boomers are.
It's it's amazing because like we used to have like entertainment that like was written by normies and autists working together, and now everything is separated to where you have the normies writing Blue Bloods and you have the autists writing Smiling Friends.
What is this?
Yeah, the orders you can't get. That's my buddy. That's Cossack. He's my friend. You can't fucking rag out here. Yeah, he's not an orders. So this is Raising Hope, right? And it's a series that was done by Laurie. It was done right after My Name is Earl. Did you guys like My Name is Earl?
I saw the first few seasons. I liked it. I kind of just fell out of it, but
Yeah.
I like it. It's sad that it sort of ended the way it did, like all in limbo. But these guys ended up getting fucked out of work, right? So they started a new show, and the premise of the show is there's this little, like, you know, pussy guy, I guess, and he ends up running into this girl, and they have this wild romance in one night, and he ends up fucking her in the back of his van. Well, the very next day they wake up, he stumbles into the house to meet his parents, you know, and on the television there's a news report going like, oh yeah, this serial killer's on the loose, we've been trying to find them, and it's the girl he just fucked, right? And they're like, oh shit. And so she gets taken to jail, and they think, well, that's the end of it, right? Well, as it turns out, she got knocked up by him. And so like 6 months later, like, all right, she's getting the lethal injection, but we can't do it until after she's like given birth. 9 months later, it's like, yeah, she's getting the lethal injection. Like, here's this baby that you didn't know you had. We couldn't do it until the baby was born and stuff. You know what I mean? But now here you've got this baby.
They execute the baby too, because it was all the baby's idea.
Oh no, they give the baby.
The baby was whispered in the mom's ear to kill all those people.
Wait, I remember this show.
Yeah, they give the baby to this guy that's clueless and his dysfunctional family, and she gets killed by lethal injection, and then they've got to figure out how to raise this kid. It's a really good show. Like, it's enjoyable. My wife loves it. I really enjoyed it, and they do a bunch of callbacks to My Name is Earl and stuff. There's a bunch of inside jokes, a bunch of Laurie stuff. Really good show. I'd highly recommend it if you can find it. Good way to fill time. But it's just about, you know,
Chuck
it's
Lorre
just a fun show.
A shocking amount of shows, and most of them start out pretty good, even the ones that go off the rails.
Yeah,
my favorite bit of Chuck Lorre show lore, because it's so random to me, is that he is the guy that both wrote and performed the original Ninja Turtles theme song.
Yep.
And while he doesn't own the theme song itself, he owns the original recording. That's why a lot of re-releases on like digital of the old Ninja Turtle cartoon have like a different version of it. Like, it's the same song, but someone else singing it. But it's just so random to me where it's like, yeah, the guy who made the Ninja Turtle theme song is Chuck Lorre of all fucking people. The same guy that made 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
The character in 2.5 Men, that Charlie Sheen's character is based, is a very idealized version of Chuck Lorre himself, where he's writing all these jingles and shit like that. That's apparently what Chuck used to do in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
While we're on old shows, did either one of you watch Third Rock from the Sun?
I used to watch that a lot. That was on back when I was in middle school. That shit was fun.
I didn't. It was on. I did see it, but I never really super got into it because, like, as an autistic child, I was like, I wanted to be more about aliens. Why isn't it more about the aliens? But it's more aliens being like people, and I didn't get it. I was dumb. You know, I wouldn't mind going back and rewatching it.
I would have just assumed it was too close to home.
Yeah.
I just watched a recent like one of these guys that talks about like the history of TV. He did a video on like the quote unquote must see TV push that NBC did, all the sitcoms throughout the late 80s and 90s. And Third Rock was included in there. And it was one of those things where it's like, I hadn't thought of that show in years. And I ended up going back and watching a few on streaming, and it still holds up.
I was hanging out with Uncommon Sense last night, right? And the guy that does Third Rock, you know, like the baldy guy, like the leader guy, he is like the 4th richest comedian in the world.
Oh yeah, that's oh god, what the hell? I'm blanking on his name, but he's done a ton of shit in Britain.
I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I had no idea that he was so wealthy. Like, he's super rich. not Seinfeld rich, just if you're ever wondering at home how much Seinfeld's worth, he's $98 billion fucking dollars.
What?
That's what his estate is worth. So
it's funny, like you can go back and rewatch like shitty sitcoms from the 90s that no one even really liked at the time, and they outshine 99% of what's on TV now.
It's hard to find good
just
stuff
that low.
it's hard to find good stuff to just put on and enjoy and binge while you're drawing or working or with your family. Like, you can't watch fucking anything anymore. And everything's only 12 episodes long.
There was a show called Sybil in the 90s, with Sybil Shepherd was playing a washed-up actress in it, which was fitting. But my dad used to love that show in the 90s because he had a crush on Sybil Shepherd when he was younger. But he recently discovered that on probably Tubi or something and binge watched the whole thing. And I watched a little bit of it, and I remember this was like a D-tier sitcom that struggled to survive and only got like 3 episodes or 3 seasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm watching, I'm like, this still outshines 99% of the shows out there now. Like, certainly any of the sitcoms and comedic attempts of the last 10, 15 years. This outshines it. And this was considered the dog shit tier in the 90s.
Well, shows used to make or break based on how good they were and how much attention they can get, and the landscape's completely changed.
Well, there was also times when, like, network executives used to actually believe in shit and stick their neck out for shit. I mean, Seinfeld's a great example. Seinfeld struggled in its first season. If you go back and watch, the first season is not particularly good compared to the rest of it. They had not found their footing yet. But there was executives at NBC that was like, no, give it time. I believe in this. And it became the most profitable show, and certainly at that point in the network's history. You know, everyone involved made $1 bajillion. Like,
apparently.
Yeah.
I was never big into Seinfeld. I would watch it because it was on, but like I never really got into it.
Neither was I at the time. I got into it again. You know what it was? It was me watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. I got hardcore into Curb Your Enthusiasm. I went, I'm going to go back and watch Seinfeld. And I went back and I watched Seinfeld and went, oh, this is smart. You know, I like smart. I like not being...
I think I was in like 7th and 8th grade when Seinfeld was close to its end. And I started watching it then. I thought it was really great. And I was actually kind of sad it ended. And then like years later, I went back and really rewatched it a lot in rerun. I was like, man, this was good. Yeah. This does deserve the praise it got. The one I don't think was any good, or at least not for most of it, was Friends.
Yeah, Friends had no energy.
I think Friends, like, I remember watching a little bit of it when it first came out, and I was like in 6th or 7th grade even, but some of it was pretty funny because like the Joey and Chandler shit was funny. Those two were funny. If the show had just been them, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
The rest of the cast sucked, and the rest of the show sucked, and the less it was about them, the more it sucked. And like I've tried to watch some of it in reruns as an adult, thinking like, okay, well, I was just a dumb kid then. I was just a dumb fucking teen, basically. Maybe I didn't get it. I tried to watch it as an adult, and I'm like, no, this is dog shit. Like, again, Joey and Chandler are both funny. If you'd have just done an Odd Couple style show about those two living together, would have been fucking amazing. The rest of that show is crap. God, it's crap.
Yeah, man. I had the similar thing, man. Exact same thing. Brother from Another Mother. Because it's like, I was looking around for sitcoms to watch. Like, I was like, hey, I want to find stuff that I can put on that my wife can enjoy while she cleans the house and while I work. And so, like, we started looking into sitcoms, and, like, we went back and thought, well, maybe Friends, because every op shop you go to in Australia has a DVD box set of Friends, a complete box set of Friends for, like, $10. So, like, I'm like, maybe we could watch that. And before I bought it, I just downloaded a couple episodes and turned them on the television. We were both like, this didn't work, you know, did not work. I got like the first episode from the first season and then like the first 2 episodes from like the 3rd and 5th season to see if there was like, if it improved or anything. So we could decide if we watched the whole thing. It just was bad. It was just bad. and like it was not fun to watch. Just
Again,
not even good background noise. You know what I mean? Like,
Joey and Chandler are funny in it, and
Yeah.
the first season leaned a bit more heavily on them, and those two are fucking funny. They play well off each other. They had good timing off each other. It just worked. The show because I remember watching it the first season and kind of liking it. Wasn't my favorite, but I watched it, and by the second season, I could tell they weren't all about that anymore, and I was like, nah. Oh, chat brings up, remember when Friends came to streaming and Zoomers thought it was too offensive? Yeah, I love that they're like, oh yeah, Friends is homophobic. And it's like, this show had a dyke wedding in like episode 3.
Didn't they
back when that was controversial?
There was like, I think there was an episode where one of the female characters sleeps with a bi guy to try to turn him straight.
They wouldn't have liked that. They don't get any sex, so whenever anyone's going to take one of theirs, they get real upset about that.
You know, the one that nobody ever talks about anymore that was legitimately great in its day was Mad About You. That show fucking ruled.
About You.
I had seen some of those when I was a teen, and then I watched it again as an adult, and I'm like, this show's great.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind. I got fucking Will and Grace over there, but I can't bring myself to watch it because, you know, I just don't know. It's just sitting there, and the whole thing. We got the whole thing for like, you know, $10, but I would love to watch Mad About You.
There's 2 moments in Mad About You that stick out even, and I haven't watched it in at least 20 years, but 2 moments that really stick out. There's one, it's kind of early in the show. Paul Reiser's character is like a filmmaker, but like documentaries or something. I don't fucking know. He's like a D or F list fucking filmmaker, but his favorite movie as a kid was Attack of a 50-Foot Woman, and it's what inspired him to be a filmmaker. And there's an episode where he gets a big giant poster that's like signed of it, and he puts it up in the living room, and he's so proud of it. He's like, oh, I got it so cheap. It's so amazing. And his wife fucking hates it. Like, she fucking hates it. She's like, this is ruining the whole fucking apartment. She despises it. And she like tries to get rid of it and shit. And she's like, and there's literally a moral in the episode where she has a character arc where she recognizes how much it means to him and finally accepts it.
Yeah, you can't have that today.
And then there's another moment. It's just a little gag that made me laugh. It was right after the 2 of them had a baby. She had her breast milk in the fucking fridge, and he's staring at it in the fridge, and he's talking about how he wants to try it, and and he's like, "Is that weird that I want to try it?" And she's like, "No, it's fine. I don't care. Go ahead." And he's like arguing with himself almost. He's like constantly, he like keeps justifying, like, it's not weird, right? It's not weird that I want to try it, right? I mean,
no,
it
it's
came
weird,
from
but
you.
no.
It came from you, and I love you, and I want to know what it tastes like. That's not weird, right? And he's just going off, and she's like, I don't care. You can try it. I don't care. You can try it. And finally she comes up to him and she goes, I insist that you try it. And then walks up,
really
and he stares at it for another moment, and he goes, maybe later. It's back in the fridge and chicken's out.
You know, I need to get it before you can't get it anymore. I need to get Married with Children on just complete DVDs.
Oh god, that shit was fucking amazing.
You should, man. Look, I'm telling everyone that physical media is on the way out. It's going to be harder to get increasingly.
Yeah, they're trying to take it away from you.
So grab it while you can, man.
I mean, near me there's like an antique store, and it's $2 DVDs, and you can get boxes of VHS for $1. But
somebody made a joke on
that's
Twitter.
Awesome, dude. Like, you should fucking take.
I peruse.
I will send you money if you can find me shit. I will give you chunks of money, because in Australia, it's fucking. I go out there and it's just the dust blows on the fucking desert, and sometimes I can fight off Mad Max motherfuckers, and in their loot I find old DVDs and shit, man. Like, it's
well, don't they have to like fight off roaming gangs on the highway just to deliver you your Amazon package?
I don't even use Amazon because I don't want Skynet to know where I am.
There's a joke I saw on Twitter the other day where somebody goes, the year is 2035. Owning DVDs and Blu-rays is illegal. I go to watch Shawshank Redemption on streaming. They've added an AI. The AI has added a new segment where the characters talk about how much they love sports betting. Every single time you watch the video, the poster in the cell is a different e-girl.
Well, I bought a new DVD player for myself, a Blu-ray player, I should say, and it's got a built-in function now where it upscales 480p DVDs up to 1020 or whatever it is, or 420 to 1080.
1080 to 4K.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know how it does that. That's crazy, but I guess it's an AI robot inside the fucking.
It's actually a pretty simple algorithm. So
There's a small demon in it.
Isn't he?
yeah, there's a DVD. I remember when 8K TVs came out and they were super expensive and no one bought them, and now nobody remembers 8K.
What's 8K?
8K is like okay. So you know how 4K is like super HD. Well, 8K
Not really, but okay.
So 8K was the step up above 4K, but people were like, "No, I literally can't see it any difference, so I'm just going to buy the 4K."
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's it, eh? So my big expense was I bought the Norm show, right? Which that cost me fucking hundreds of fucking dollars, like $500. It was a nightmare, and I watched it on my normal DVD player, and I went, well, maybe now I can watch the Norm show on Flash, big, high resolution, because nothing feels more depressing than forking out, $500 for a DVD box set, and then you've got it on the screen, and you're like, it's pretty small in that little cube, because it wasn't made for television. You know what I mean?
Somebody brought up an interesting point about aspect ratios, and I'd never really thought of it. They showed like this clip from Xena, and it had Xena and the really like I think it was like Jackson, the greatest warrior, but he was a scrawny little dude. It was played by Sam Raimi's brother, and the little blonde girl that was Xena's bottom bitch. And
yeah, Gabriel.
So they're all in this scene together, and they're kind of like crunched up into the scene, and they're sort of, they're like leaning on each other, or they're kind of playing off each other physically a little bit, like friends would, and then you see like modern shows, and because of the stretched out aspect ratio, everybody's like 4 feet apart from one another, like it's a fucking COVID regulation. And somebody brought up that like and I felt this way for a while, but I couldn't articulate it. There was something about a lot of modern shows that felt empty.
Yeah,
and I realized it's because like I feel like I'm watching a play almost or something, because it's this big wide fucking stage with everybody like 9 fucking feet apart from one another. Like you can't really do much of a close shot of people just kind of sitting on a couch like you used to, And I honestly feel like a lot of shows probably shouldn't be in the wider aspect ratio. Like, yeah, maybe some action shows where you have big, the high budget shit and all, where you have the big panoramic scenery and shit like that. But I feel like the smaller aspect ratio, especially for like comedies and smaller dramas and shit, would probably fit it better.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I never thought about that.
I'm sure they could just fix it with better cinematography, but that's also gone by the wayside.
I could, but I feel like the tech jumped so forward that it jumped forward a little faster than some of the guys doing cinematography could keep up with. Because I feel like sets also feel too empty. Like they don't have, like it'll supposedly be someone's apartment, and it's kind of, it just feels empty. It feels like a porno set where it's like you obviously just rented this house. It feels like that kind of empty.
Well, it gets weirder if you watch like a show that was originally meant to be on 4:3, but like when they filmed it, it was in the wider aspect ratio and they just cut the sides off. But when you get the remaster, they don't cut the sides off. So then there's just people standing around in weird places.
Just some intern. I wish they didn't do that. I know that there's like some shows are even being stretched to meet the aspect ratio, or they're cutting off parts of it. It's like, just put black bars on the fucking side and give me the original aspect ratio. At least give me the option.
Well, at least TVs have stopped getting wider. I foresaw a future when they were still getting wider that
just wider and wider.
It would just be a 2-inch strip that went across the entire wall.
But yeah, I do feel like the wider aspect ratio hasn't helped a lot of TV shows. And I feel like some people are just afraid to just like be like, no, we're just going to do the smaller aspect ratio. Like, that's just how we're going to film this.
Well, at least TVs have stopped getting wider. I foresaw a future when they were still getting wider that TVs have just be a 2-inch strip that went across the entire wall.
I don't know, man. There's a lot wrong with modern entertainment, and I think it's part of why I don't like the guys that just focus on the woke shit all the time. Because, like, yeah, that's a problem, and I'm not denying it is, but it's not the only problem. And
Yeah,
it's at this point, it's kind of even far from the biggest one.
the
'Cause
real
it's
problem.
it's sort of fallen out of vogue. I mean, there's
You
still
know what?
last gas of it, but like they are slowly working that shit out the door.
Well,
In a lot
they're
of
changing how they go about it now. They're becoming more subversive and less in your face about it.
I mean, there's still like there's a Netflix show like where it's like here's the story of a trans coal miner, and it's like, yeah, cool.
Yes, I'm sure there's many of those.
I just,
You're
you know,
thinking, you're thinking of a trans coal burner. That's a different thing.
Oh yeah, there's a fair many. Of them.
oh gosh. So, I liked the Connors reboot when it first started, and Roseanne was in it, and I know everyone's like, oh well, it's because she was MAGA. They were MAGA. But I'm like, no, I felt like it was sort of a bit of a return to sort of, you know, an honest reflection of America today. And now I feel like the way that it looks, since they got rid of it, they killed it with pills, for fuck's sake. I don't think the show works. Like, I like Dan, and I just feel that he's badgered. Like, going back and watching Roseanne through, you're like, I really am rooting for Dan because he's put up with a lot of shit. I see a lot of myself in him. And I think that probably a lot of Americans feel the same way. And like, they have him completely cucked by his own kids. He's got his own house there. He's got his kids living there. They're telling him what to do. They're like half his age, and like half his age, but they're like, you know, like it just feels all fucked up. It doesn't feel like this feels like the dark ending of the show, where it's been completely subversive. Subversive. It's not being fair. Like, you know, I like the fact that there was the storyline about like, oh, you got to think about you're going to be bullied because you're dressing up like a little girl. Because have you guys seen it? You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't watched any of it.
No.
Well, his grandson, Darlene's kid, right? In the original storyline, he starts like wearing dresses and stuff, and Darlene supports it. He's like very young at this point. He still supports it, and Dan's fucking livid over it. Like, he's not like spewing or anything, but he's like, he's mad and doesn't like that she's being super liberal about it. And he sort of gets confronted, and the issue that he has, he's like, he's going to be bullied. It's not the real one. We've got all these namby-pamby ideas about how things work, but he's going to be harassed and all of this shit, right? And he's going to have a harder life because you're, you know, essentially being a bad parent by just embracing everything he's doing. And, you know, then they're like, oh, you're just old, and they're like, you know, like onto him about that, how he's out of touch and stuff. And I'm like, no, I think he's been a pretty good parent, actually. Like, this kid's getting bullied, and they're giving the bully, like, they're letting him wear dresses to school and shit, and he's being bullied for it, and it's causing him problems. And Dan's been a tough grandfather, and still being loving, but he just doesn't want to deal with it, you know. And then we're like, oh, the kid was like, well, I'm not gay or anything like that. Because they're like, oh, if you're gay, just be gay. It's fine. We'll accept you for who you are.
That's a message for the age now.
But the kid was like, I'm not gay. This is just who I am. And then we get an extra 1 or 2 seasons into it, and then he comes out as gay, and now he's gay. And I'm just like, well, everyone saw that coming, but like, I don't know. It just feels fucked. And Dan's like drywall business is shut down, is screwed down. He can't keep things open. You know, his relationship with his best friend fell apart because he had to hire Mexicans to do the work because he couldn't afford to hire his best mate. And I thought, oh, that's fucking miserable, because I remember this guy from the first season, you know, and it's like, it was shitty watching their friendship fall apart, and his wife's dead, and now he's banging, you know, fucking Fry's girlfriend, you know, from Futurama, you know, Peggy. So he's now married to Peggy. And I'm just like, it just doesn't work without Roseanne. You need the sort of alpha bitch mother there to make the show work, because now everyone's just spiraled into soft wussy nonsense.
One of the things I liked about King of the Hill, and again, I was never a big fan of it, but one thing
I meant Peggy. I meant from before you go into that. When I said Peggy, I meant like he's fucking, you know.
Yeah, I meant the actor.
Married with children, Peggy.
But one of the things I liked about King of the Hill, and again, I was never a big fan. Sometimes that show is just boring, in my opinion. But Hank Hill was often shown to be right. Like there were episodes where Hank Hill was shown to be an old fool who was out of touch. And because sometimes he was, but sometimes he was right. And his more grounded advice prevented bad things from happening to the people that loved him. And I thought that was such a nice balance to strike that I think is gone from a lot of entertainment, because obviously you have the leftists who want to show a Hank Hill character like an old fool, but then you would have almost the reaction to that. You'd have some garbage made by the Daily Wire where everything the old conservative boomer says is exactly dead on all the time, and we should send billions of dollars to Israel.
Which is unrelated to the episode, but they just thought
he just mentions that randomly, just at times.
You're right. And you know what else is right? Sending billions of dollars in foreign aid.
And also, Israel is our greatest ally.
I didn't know what that had to do with barbecuing, but okay.
And remember, don't put the cheese on the meat.
Be real careful talking about barbecuing in the Jewish people. I'm just saying.
Remember, don't put the cheese on the meat. God hates that for some reason.
I actually posted in the Discord a video of an ex-Jewish guy that converted to Christianity explaining the Talmud. That was pretty insightful.
Matt Brick says the Christian rock / skater episode of King of the Hill was peak. I do remember that episode. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that was one of the better ones.
I lived that. You know, like I had a bunch of Christian friends that were all like in music and stuff like that, you know, and family. It was love.
Yeah, that was kind of my childhood.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing I saw a couple weeks ago on Twitter. Somebody was like, because they got somebody doing the halftime show on the Super Bowl who's like some queer that's going to sing in Spanish, and that's obviously terrible. But then, like, I saw some conservative grifters were like, well, we're going to have our own halftime show, and it's going to be a bunch of terrible Christian rock. And I'm going to be like, this is why culture sucks now, because these are your choices. Do you want to watch some gay guy with AIDS sing in Spanish, or do you want to see cringe Christian rock fest?
It gets worse. There actually are good Christian groups, but they won't play them because they're too edgy. Edgy in quotes, not actually edgy.
I don't like this. I don't want this to be the case. This is
Look,
terrible.
The only choices before you is a gay society with communism or a gay society with communism with a different flavor.
It's like, yeah, maybe one of these things is obviously worse, but they're all terrible. It's like you go to the voting booth and it's like, do you want to get herpes or AIDS? And it's like, well, I don't want either one. Where's the neither one option?
Yep.
And it's like, I guess if I had to pick, herpes is better, but like, why do we have to have either?
Because they have them. And that means everyone has to have them so that everyone is equal and fits in.
And we'll all live in shoebox apartments.
That's right.
That's the end goal of leftism, is when the last human skull is bashed up against a rock for being more privileged than the rock.
Well, they keep for some reason, they just really want to commit suicide, but only in a medical setting, which is weird to me.
See, I would, if I was going to commit suicide, which I'm not, YouTube, don't strike me.
We're not talking about it. There's going to be a helpline.
Hypothetically, I would just go skydiving and not pull the fucking parachute. Because I figure, first of all, it's fun. Second of all, you're out like a light.
Well, I got bad news. Some people survive.
Not me. I'm going head first. There's going to be just a puddle with maybe 2 feet sticking out. That's going to be all that's left. Again,
we have a pile of Beckler from Broken Dreams spread out on Tarmac 3.
Again, YouTube, this is hypothetical. This is like if I'm dying of terrible, like, dick cancer, okay?
To bring this back to King of the Hill, there was an episode where Peggy goes skydiving. Her chute doesn't work, and she survives.
Let me tell you, there's so many people who hate Peggy Hill, man, in the community online. Like, she's like one of the most hated characters in cartoons.
She's not a bad person. She's just dumb.
She's pretty annoying.
She's annoying. Yeah. But lots of people hate her guts, man. Like hardcore hate Peggy Hill.
Let's see. Let's bring that up closer. Let me see if I can focus on Liam. Is this what does it? No, that's not what.
I'm doing like Wonder Island stuff for my book, just to do so I can practice coloring.
Remember, for everyone, you can go get Liam's books. He has a Xeno King and Dino Type, I believe, are the two.
Fuck, I've got to send. Like, please remind me when we get off the fucking stream to send you my books. Like,
send me physical copies if you can, man.
He lives on the other side of the planet.
I still have a box. I still have a box of like Christmas presents I need to send to you. The shipping is a bear, and I just haven't had the money yet. But
no, yeah, the shipping.
You might be getting it in January, but you will be getting.
That's fine, man. I'm in no hurry for nothing. I'm grateful to get anything. I was thinking about stuff to be getting here. You've been a good friend to me, and I was thinking.
Well, I do have an Amazon wish list, which reminds me, folks, I have down below. If you're enjoying this wonderful content, there are streamlabs.com/thebeckloff where you can send super chats, paypal.me where you can send donations that way, and the Amazon wish list is down below. And just on the off chance anybody sent a super chat, I'll take a look, and I doubt it. They don't pop up now because of how, because now I'm using StreamYards. No, it doesn't look like we got any right now. But yes, you can send donations that way. You can get your favorite Bulbasaur a nice Christmas present down below.
Yeah.
Got an Amazon wish list full of all sorts.
Yeah,
of
if
products.
you send it to my, don't make me go looking for it. Send it to me when you've got.
I'll shoot it over to you.
I want to get you something. I want to get you something cool.
Well, I got to get out of here later, guys.
Yeah, I should probably wrap this up. It's 1:15. I should try and get some sleep. Oh my god, slept all fucking day, not feeling well.
Yeah. Well, it was great to meet you, Dan. You know, you don't have to hate the whole world. You can love Liam. You know, yeah.
I should watch that Dan versus the World cartoon. I've seen like bits and pieces, and it looks fucking hilarious. I feel like I should fire that up on Disney Plus sometime and watch it.
It's a Disney Plus show?
It was on, well, it would be there, but it was on, I think, Disney XD. But every clip I've ever seen of it is fucking hilarious.
He likes revenge.
Like there's an episode, like there's one clip I saw where they're like that Dan has like a normal friend in his and that normal friend has a girlfriend, and they basically tard wrangle him from what I've gathered. And there's like the normal guy is up in the front seat with his girlfriend and going, it's really weird. There's no way of knowing what Dan knows. He has this bizarre patchwork of knowledge. And he goes, Dan, who sculpted Mount Rushmore? And he goes, he like names the guy and then mentions that he died, but his son finished it. And he goes, and what state is Mount Rushmore? And he goes, I don't know, Ecuador or something. Yeah, I should watch that show. I've heard good things about that.
It's
right,
good
folks.
background noise.
If you enjoy the content I put out, there's the ways to donate down below. Streamlabs, PayPal, and Amazon wishlist. And that's about it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for hopping on. Thank everybody for watching. Beckloff out.
Peace. Thank you. Oh.